Hey everybody, hope everyone's having a great afternoon. How are you doing? Happy Friday as we continue to have so much fun social distancing and isolating ourselves. Just wanted to come back with you for day 3, really day 2 of this lesson, but and want to talk to you a bit before we start. So yesterday I talked like a little bit about this book, and you notice I figured out how to get the title to go the right way. That only took me a tutorial, but we talked a little bit about this book, and I feel like I made some classic teacher mistakes in this lesson yesterday. So, one, I gave you homework. I don't give homework as a teacher. So, I just think that's hysterical, that I actually gave you homework. I would like this process to be enjoyable, sharing the books and possibly providing opportunities to write with you. So I don't want it to feel like schools, and teachers, don't kill me, I'm a teacher, but for some of us, like, school, it can be sometimes a positive experience and sometimes like not a great experience, and we don't know how many days we're spending at home. So let's make those days that we are together as enjoyable as we can, and as hopeful as we can, and let's see how our own stories can be a vehicle for self-love and care, and also love and appreciation of others. And that's really why I picked this book. So, I choose a text, as I said in the first video, with my audience in mind, and for a reason. So some people might call it this, indoctrination. But let's be real, by the content that you pick in your classroom, you are teaching towards something. Maybe you're not telling kids what to think, but you are teaching them how to think. Hopefully you're giving multiple perspectives, not just one, right? That would be really irresponsible. That would be a really, really irresponsible way to teach. But the way that I see the world right now, we need more Jeremys, right? We need more people helping one another, with yes, of course, they're thinking about themselves a little bit, but we need to the universe needs a little bit more gratitude, right? We need more compassion. So that's why I picked this book. And we're going to go back to this book today. You'll see that I have many, many notes for myself that I'm going to share with you, but I kind of needed to say that first because I was really thinking about it last night in terms of like, hey, let's just be transparent about why I picked this book. It's timely. The world needs more love, like that's just for sure, right? So we'll get back to that book. But yesterday I told you that one way that we can start writing is thinking about 3 things. We can write about the people in our lives, the things in our lives, or the events in our lives. And I used this kind of bag of pictures as my thing. And I started writing about it, and then I realized this is like way too big. There's too many ideas in this bag, and this can't be a story. It can't be it. Okay? What I was doing, and teachers, you know this, you've seen this before, from Lucy Calkins, but I was writing the whole watermelon, right? Like I was writing a summary, not a story. And that was my mistake, because my idea, even though my idea was a good one, it came from my brain, so my story still matters, but it wasn't really a story, it was a summary. What I need to do is I need to take that summary and make it a seed. When it's too big, like this bag of pictures, there's too many stories. And when there's too many stories, remember, your ideas become a list or a summary. They get lost, okay? So I want to teach you, I want to show you my mistake. I want to show you the mistake that I made with my writing. Then you're going to watch me fix it, and I'm going to invite you to do the same, okay? And again, this is about having fun and using the things in our lives as inspiration, okay? So instead of that whole bag of pictures, I took out this picture, okay? This is a picture of my brother, where am I going? My brother Matt, myself, my dad, my sister Megan. This is right after a trip that my brother and I took to Minnesota to visit my sister, which is a hysterical story. I'm wearing this sweatshirt from her university. Matt and I were pretty young in that picture, as you can see. So I use this picture as my inspiration to tell my narrative. And I want, that's how I kind of fixed it up. You're going to hear this story second and this summary first. So first you're going to hear my mistake, and second you're going to hear my story, okay? So I'm getting vulnerable with you all, but I expect you to do the same. So here goes. I have a million thoughts in my head. There are so many things I want to say about my mom, but I don't even know where to start. This bag helps me remember those most important memories or moments. When I need motivation to write, or I just need to laugh or smile or even cry, this bag is there. This bag is so important to me because it is an example of all the memories in my life. Okay, that wasn't a story. That was a summary. I told you about this bag, but I didn't tell you a story. So instead, I'm fixing my writing, and I'm picking one memory, so one seed idea, and I'm going to write about it, okay? So here's my idea. And again, I want you to know that I don't believe in perfection. There's no such thing. That's a lie. So you're going to see I don't pay attention to spelling, grammar. The page looks a mess. Doesn't matter, okay, at all. I don't care. There's no red pen. It's not the 1950s. And anyone who starts with a red pen, and if they're a teacher, shame on them. Seriously, I'll shame you. Because your idea development is the most important thing as a writer. Do not shut down the ideas, okay? All ideas are good ideas. You just have to make them better. That's it. Okay, so listen to how I fixed my summary into a story using this as my inspiration, okay? So, you can go easy on me if you're gonna give me some feedback, because remember, this is just my first time, okay? So here we go. Make sure to pack warm clothes, Mom's voice calls up the stairs. If you think it's cold here, wait till you two get to Winona. Brrr. I can hear the smile in her reminder to Matt and I. Next thing you know, our feet crunch through the snow to our paneled station wagon, my hands swimming in the two red blobs that look more like oven mitts than mittens. They're so big that I can't seem to open the wagon's door. Mom helps Matt and I slide in with our bags tossed in the back of the wagon. It slams shut. I will not be scared. I will not be scared. Stop being a scaredy cat, I think. I try to think about all the Tombstone pizza and Lucky Charms Matt and I will eat. But it's true. I am scared. We've never done this before. Mom, Matt, and I stand at the platform and greet the train. We are oblivious to the concept of time at 8 and 10 years old. Swish of the metal wheels that grind along the track as the train slows and alerts me to the knot that has formed in my stomach. I can see the top of the conductor's black cap peek out of the train door as the car slows to a stop. He's smiling. Mom is smiling. Matt and I look at each other, unsure if we're supposed to be smiling Make sure they get off at Winona, sir, Mom says to the train conductor. The train conductor ushers Matt and I into the train, and the light from the packed car illuminates Mom's wide smile as she waves and turns away. Okay. That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. But I'm still going to keep writing on it. But I want to kind of show you how I made the jump from the summary into the story by using this mentor text. And so, you know, the thing about a mentor text, right? If I can like figure this out, sorry. The thing about a mentor text is that it's the teacher, right? So the root word men, really, it means, where am I looking? It means to think, okay? And you know that from mentor. A mentor is a teacher. And I also wrote the word mental there too, right? So mental means to think. And really during this time, I mean, we need mentors that we can look up to. And we really need to be mental gladiators, right? So you're not going to forget that word, or what that root word means, right? So mentor, I'm using those shoes as a mentor text to teach me how to be a more effective writer, okay? So when I made my mistake about writing this summary and not a story, I went back to my mentor text, okay? So I went back to see what Mary Beth Bolt did in the text. And what I remembered was looking at the page, okay, looking at this text. I am challenged by this. Okay, so, ooh, what just happened? I don't know. Okay, so I remember that in the beginning of the story, basically, Jeremy says to Grandma, I want them. And Grandma says back to him, there's no room for want around here, just need. So we talked about this, right? It's what Jeremy says. So I had to think as a writer, okay, I have to include some dialogue in my story. And then I made sure that I did that, okay? Then I kept reading, because remember, I read the text more than once. Then I found the part where Jeremy in this story, he does a lot of thinking. You're inside his head, right? So he says, you know what? Like, I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes. By sharing his thinking, he's telling you how he feels. I knew that I had to include what things that a character says and the things that a character thinks. That's what good writers do. So I knew that I wanted to do that in my own writing. Then I looked again in this text, okay? I mean, there's a section where Jeremy's thinking again. He says, after school, I go to the park to think. Okay? He says, I think I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. He keeps saying that. Now, I also was reminded when I was rereading this that the author is using repetition. So I said to myself, you know what? I can find a spot in my own writing where I can use repetition too. So when I said, I'm scared, I won't be scared, I remembered that the author, Mary Beth Bolt, did that in her text, and so I tried it in mine. That's what good writers do. Like, it's not being a copycat. You can do that. I'm not using her words, right? But I'm using the idea of repetition. And again, I'm remembering that I want to share what the character thinks. Okay, so then last thing. And I swear, next time I'm going to get this camera right. Like, it's just, like, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, then the last thing. We talked about what the character says and then what the character thinks. Okay, the last thing is she includes what he does, right? When he's running and he puts those shoes on Antonio's steps, he says, before I can change my mind, my shoes are in my backpack. So what the character says, what the character thinks, what the character does, I knew that I need to include those in my writing. And I used this mentor text to guide me. And that's what good writers do all the time, right? So I have an Audible or I have a library card because when I'm reading as a reader, but I'm also reading as a writer. And that's so important. That gives you so much power as a writer. And that's really how we impact the world, right? That's how we make the world better, by sharing our stories. So you have an opportunity at home to create your own stories based on the things, the people, the events in your life. Even if you only can walk from the kitchen to the bedroom, to the family room, to the backyard, to the front porch, whatever, there's a story there. There was a story that happened yesterday. There's a story that's from now. You could be telling a story about, oh my God, who is this crazy lady? What is she talking about? She's nuts. That could be a story. I'm cool with that. It doesn't matter. So, bottom line is, let's try to find stories from our own life and write them down. And let's think about the books that we already have in our house that we can read and share with another to inspire us to tell our own stories. Okay? Do you think that we can do that? Like, any comments? Like, feel free to comment below if you will actually try this. I would love to know if you will possibly be doing any reading and writing as a family, or even like through FaceTime or video chat. Like, I would love to see that actually transpire, because it's important to me as a teacher to know that I'm reaching people, that there will be something as a result of this. I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm doing it for my health. I'm doing it for my own mental health because I have to do something. I'm not working. So I feel like I need to make a contribution, but I want to make sure that you really do start thinking, hey, like, this happened to me, so I can write a story about it. And, it can be a happy story or a sad story. I mean, I didn't finish this story, about the train, but there's parts of it that, are hysterical. If you didn't understand this, I'm basically 10 years old and Matt's 8, and Mom throws us on a train in the middle of winter and, to Minnesota, and we're in Chicago. So imagine how long that train ride is. Mom was tired and she had a lot of kids, so let's not judge. But, I just started it, but I was inspired by finding this picture. So hopefully you have artifacts around your home that you can use to inspire your stories. And that's it. And let me be a cheerleader for you, and send me some of your stories so I can share them. And tomorrow I'm going to probably be reading just like a fun read aloud from Mo Williams. I have a bunch of books laying around, so hopefully you'll catch that too. And I'll post this to YouTube, and I would appreciate if you share it if you find it worthwhile and helpful and inspiring. And so let's continue to be mental gladiators as we kind of navigate this new normal. All right? Have a great day. Bye.